Bonjour, mi amor. Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to episode 24. So, we're discussing a happier time of my life. In fact, the happiest time of my life. So, I'm also feeling kind of happy talking about it. So, I decided to search for some pictures of my school. So, here's a picture of my primary school. To the right, the little curved roof building is the pre-primary school, and then there's the common ground, and then behind you can see my school, which was the primary school. So I, as I mentioned earlier, started straight off with standard one. Like we used to call them standard one or that kind of thing. We didn't say first class or whatever. It was first standard. So I started school with first standard. So there are three different campuses, like I had mentioned: Udayachal Pre-Primary School, Udayachal Primary School, and Udayachal High School (UHS). So here I got you a picture of the high school, which was that campus was like about a kilometer away. I don't know how far away, but it was a little away from the other two campuses. We had Jyotsna Ben as our principal at the time, a Gujarati lady. I tried to look for a picture of her, but I couldn't find her. So she was a peculiar lady. She used to do this smile thing while talking, and it was funny because it was so unauthentic. So while talking, randomly she would just give a sudden smile and then it would vanish suddenly. I have not seen other people do that. I found it a little weird, but that's okay. And here I got you another angle of the school picture, and I really wanted to search for a picture of the school uniforms. The pre-primary school uniform was pink checks on a white background, very pretty uniform. And the high school uniform was blue stripes on a white background and a blue belt. This is a later uniform. This is after my time. So our design was slightly different. And the way you tie a tie on your neck, that is how we used to put our belt at the side, at our hip. And on the lapel, there would be our ID card with our photo and our name, with a class, and pinned with a napkin or a handkerchief. So I used to always wonder, like they were promoting, they were telling us you should carry a handkerchief. But I thought, when you washed your hands, how do you wipe your hands when the folded handkerchief is kind of pinned to your lapel? Anyway, so I remember having this lovely new pink plate. All new stuff was bought for us, right, for the school. So I had this lovely red plate, sorry. So I had this lovely red plate. I had a new lunch box, and there was a napkin which we were supposed to place on our table before we opened our lunch box. So, and there was this satchel, the canvas satchel. I found it extremely beautiful. So I love these organic things. The other things were plastic, but the satchel was made of canvas, so I loved that. Actually, I loved all my things. So, yes, other than Jyotsna Ben, there was a supervisor, school supervisor, like the second in charge, that was Shenvi sir. And in the school, we had three languages, three mediums of instruction. So one was English, of course, that was ours. Then they also had Gujarati. There were a lot of Gujarati employees, and I guess also for the Parsis. So there was one Gujarati medium of instruction, and then there was one Marathi medium of instruction, because we were in Maharashtra. Obviously, Bombay is in Maharashtra, and there were a lot of Maharashtrian employees, especially the workers, or at all levels, in fact. So there were these three mediums of instructions, and the parents could choose in which language they wanted their children to study. So the huge campus catered to three mediums of instruction, so that many extra teachers. So that was something unique. Again, I don't know how many schools have that. One peculiar thing that my mom found, again, appalling, maybe she was not too happy about it, was that part of the uniform was bloomers. We had to wear bloomers made of the same material as the uniform. I guess they wanted to They wanted to check if all the girls were wearing bloomers. Possibly there was a reason. Maybe there were some kids who probably at some point might have come to school without a panty, I guess. So that is why in the morning after assembly or whatever, the PE instructors, at that time we used to call them PT sir or PT teacher. We didn't call them PE instructors, the physical education teachers. They were called the physical training teachers, physical training teachers. I remember one sir was Rora sir, and my parents said, oh, he's probably Arora, which is like a Punjabi surname. One was Rora sir and one was Manjrekar sir. So we had two PE instructors, PT teachers. And I remember we had one assistant, like a peon kind of. One was Raju, one was Satya. I remember Rora sir was so tickled by his own humor. So whenever Satya would bring a notice or come from the office with some instruction or something for him, Rora sir would tell him, Satya, tera Satyanash. And he found himself so funny, he would laugh. And poor Satya, I don't think anyone would like to hear that about the name. He would politely kind of laugh or smile. But I don't think he enjoyed Rora sir's joke. So back to the bloomers. So apparently every morning during the PT class, I think not after assembly, but during PT class, the teachers had to tell us that they had to check that we were wearing the bloomers, and they would make us like, they would count to 1, 2, 3. So at 1 you had to hold the front of your dress with both hands. Then when they said 2 and 3, you quickly lifted the dress quickly all together in a row. They checked that you were wearing the bloomers, and then you kind of left your dress, you let it go down. But even that my mom found very offensive. She was like, how dare they try to look at your undergarments? So there was that. Another very, very peculiar thing about school that is so funny to me and I remember so clearly is up until a certain point, while I was still in first standard, possibly the first month or the first 2 months, it had not occurred to me that teachers were also human beings. I thought there were different kinds of, there were parents and there were children. In my mind, these were people. And then teachers was another category. I did not know that there were people like us, that they also could be moms and dads, or they could be a couple, a married couple, or just individuals who went home, who cooked, who ate. That had not occurred to me. In my mind, when class was done, the teacher just kind of powered down and laid down horizontal in the shelf. We had these shelves. We didn't have cubbies, but we had shelves where after arriving at school, we put our lunch boxes and all of that. So in my mind, those were really long shelves. In my mind, the teacher powered down, just kind of flattened out, just got horizontal there. And then in the morning again kind of powered up and came back to life and started teaching. So that was hilarious. I had such a paradigm shift. I was so amazed when I found out that teachers were also people like us. So can you imagine just how innocent I was? I actually did not know that teachers were people. Okay, so here is another picture of our school. Now this area, at this point when the picture was clicked, they've put plants and stuff over here. But we used to have some assemblies here, like they would set up a little stage at the left side, and we would sit in the hallway that you can see on the right, where you can see the picture of the children walking. So we would sit there, and I think some children also would sit a little in the front, and then we would perform over there, whatever it was, the assembly or something else. So these also, you can see the open corridors that I was talking about. Alright, so once we were standing in those corridors because it was Lord Krishna's birthday, Krishna Janmashtami, the next day, and we had a little celebration in the evening before going home. So we were standing on that balcony on the veranda outside of our classroom, and then there was a performance going on, and then there was a Krishna that came up on the stage, and me, poor little sweet innocent me in first standard, I was so in awe. I folded my hands in prayer and I was like, Krishna came to our school. I was so honored. I was like, of all the places, Lord Krishna has come to our school. That was me in first standard, 5-year-old me. That was my thinking process. And I actually thought Lord Krishna had descended to our school. And later we went back to class, and there was that girl from my class, Pratima, who was dressed as Krishna. She came back to change. And it was a girl from my class, and yet I did not realize that it's just a kid dressed up. And then again, that was a second paradigm shift, that wait, that was not Krishna. That was not Lord Krishna. This is just a girl from my class. I was so sweet and innocent. I literally believed those things. Oh, I thought the Lord had come down to our school. So that is who I am. So this has been me throughout. I keep getting these paradigm shifts. There are a lot of things that people just know and I don't know, and then when I get to know, I'm like, whoa, that happened, that kind of thing. So no wonder sometimes my self-esteem, like you can see how it goes. But then of course there was the other aspect also. In the beginning, when I joined the school, we moved to this Vikhroli hillside and I joined the school. I don't know if it was the beginning of the year, but I do know that we had a teacher called Hilda teacher. Now Hilda teacher was a very young lady and very glamorous to me, to little me. She looked like a very glamorous person. And she had all these lovely skirts and blouses, skirts and tops that she wore. She had a lovely hairstyle. She was very pretty. She had nice makeup, I guess. I'm just guessing. These are the impressions I have from first standard. And all of the children would whisper, she has 365 dresses. So each day of the year, she wears a new dress. And she never repeats a dress all year. Like once she's worn a dress, then the next time its turn comes only like after 365 days. And we would be like, whoa, Hilda teacher wears a new outfit every day. And I really liked Hilda teacher. And then afterwards we found out that while my teacher, actual class teacher, had been away on leave, Hilda teacher was a replacement teacher or a temp, I guess. So I felt very sad and heartbroken because that was my very first teacher, barring that Marathi school teacher who I did not even consider her my teacher. I did not consider that my class. So to me, I joined the school. I was fascinated. I loved everything. I loved Hilda teacher. And then after 3 months or so, our actual teacher comes. And I guess she was on maternity leave. So she already had one kid and there was another kid. I'm guessing, I'm not sure, but it was like a long leave. It was 3 months or so. And then when I saw chubby teacher, our teacher's name was Chubby teacher, I guess. Being a Bengali, instead of saying chubby, they say chubby. They say b for the v that we say. And for the a or that we say, they say o, right? So that's a different pronunciation of that region. So chubby teacher came and I was so disappointed because chubby teacher was way older. To me it looked like she had wrinkles. I'm sure she didn't. But like she had a pretty plain appearance and she had the typical, she tied a juda, she tied her hair in a bun behind her head and she had a typical sari and she looked very average. Like Hilda teacher was young, glamorous. I guess Hilda teacher had good proportions and a slender figure. Chubby teacher was regular, just a regular Indian woman in a regular Indian sari, not particularly pretty. And when I saw her, I was like, I liked Hilda teacher. Now why do we have this teacher? But she was a nice teacher. She was nice. She was lovely. Not glamorous like Hilda, but she was nice. And I remember the names of some of my classmates, and later I'll tell you some incidents connected to some of them. So let me see. I obviously can't, I don't have everyone's names off the top of my head, but we did have someone in the class called Anthony. Now Anthony had a African descent father, like a black father, and his mother, I guess, was Indian. So he inherited exactly the looks of a black person. So Anthony was black, he had that curly hair and he had a that slender, some of the really slender African descent people. So he had that look. So we had Anthony in class, then there was a boy called Devendra, another boy called Riyaz. Then among the girls, there were two Yasmins. One was a Muslim girl called Yasmin, and then there were three Parsi girls: Yasmin, Delnaz, Benaifa, another Parsi girl, Anaita. Then we had a Maharashtrian girl called Pradnya. Her mother was a teacher. Her mother taught Marathi at the primary school. Then we had Anjali, we had Supriya, Abhijit, Naina probably in the other division. We had Nirmala, Anita, Sulochana. So these are some of my classmates. I think we had Havovi and Homai also. I'm not sure in which year they were in my division. Those were Parsi sisters. I think they were twins, but not identical twins. So we had Vikram, O'Neill Pinto. These are some of my classmates, and I might keep referring to them later. So that is why I gave you some of their names. So these are some of my experiences at the Udayachal Primary School, UPS. And I will tell you more about my life at school and at the Godrej colony in the next episode. Until then, take care, my loves. Stay healthy, stay well. And please do give a thumbs up if you like my video. And please subscribe to my channel if you are not yet subscribed. Take care. Bye for now.